say if you had a kid, obviously you do have a kid, but say if you had like a 20-year-old and he's just a doper, where he wake and bakes and doesn't get anything done. He's just always like hanging out with his friends and playing video games, and he's just a loser. I wish there was a way you could show someone like that, like, I know that you're getting some comfort and satisfaction out of just laying around, doing nothing, eating, getting fat, but your life would feel better and richer if you had a goal, you chase that goal, you accomplish some things, and you would get this boost of confidence, you'd get this boost of self-esteem, like whatever it is that you're into doing. Maybe you're into drawing comic books, maybe you're into making pottery or sculptures, but find whatever that is and pursue that instead of doing nothing. Like the people that are doing nothing, those are the real people. I mean, look, doing something might be as simple as like that Alex Honnold guy. He just climbs rocks, but he's world-class rock climber. Though. It's something.
Are you surprised by your success at all?
I don't want to say I am, because then I think that means you're doing something for a lesser benefit. You know, I think you do anything to maximize your potential in whatever realm you put yourself in. Within entertainment, there's so many doors that you can go through. I mean, you're literally looking at 15 to 20 doors.
Yeah, but going back in your life, would you ever see yourself in this position now?
I saw myself, honestly, as a model when I first started.
Yeah.
So
a runway model?
No, it was weird. Kids' clothes, I was in the the point that I'm making is I saw myself going in a direction where I would be able to make people smile. And stand-up comedy is one thing that I knew that would be able to put me in that position. And stand-up comedy has taken me into a place that, you know, is amazing.
I love this.
When you're in the lab going and crafting the music, is this somebody that you think about from your past that you're like, you know what, for every time such and such gave me a wedgie, or for every time that girl like fronted on me, I do this for that, you know, I do this for that?
Nah, it's more the influential people that I know. I don't really think about the people that did negative things to me. I think about the individuals like Wayne, like Ross, like Ye, like the guys that I know. You know, if I take tonight off, I know that one of them is probably in the studio crafting something magical, you know, so I should probably stay a little longer. I should probably not go to the club. I should just, you know, work, because I know that there's somebody else working if I decide to go play. You know what I'm saying? So I just use like individuals, you know, and especially like probably one of the most influential people like in that regard obviously is Wayne, but you know as well Jay is one of those guys too. That's one guy like you can guarantee if he's going in there and rapping, it's gonna be something great. So I just use people, you know, I use positive inspiration as opposed to like like, oh man, that guy still owes me. Like, nah, I don't, you know, it's all good, man. I'm in a great positive headspace right now. I don't want to give anybody no problems. I don't want no problems. I just want people to like appreciate this music.
A lot of us are in the circumstances when it's starting where there ain't no plan B. Shit gotta work. If it don't work, what's gonna happen? You know, so if you're in that point and position, you go, what's working? And you start to get influence or you sway to what's actually working at the moment, and your music changes and starts to sound a little bit like what's happening on the radio right now. I've heard demo tapes from 10 different Lil Waynes that wasn't Lil Wayne. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, he got that shit down pat. That shit sound like what Wayne did, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it's tough. Like, how do you say that it's not good? If what's working right now is that. You know what I'm saying? So you go, damn, like it's good, but it's hard for me to really embrace it because you ain't Lil Wayne. Like, you want me to invest the money in the copy? No, man, I'm saying. That shit ain't gonna work, man.
How did you get into entrepreneurship? Was it something that when you were young, you got inspired about it? Or, because I know your father was an artist and your mother as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, I mean, I've always been wanting to act or direct. But then these opportunities came along, and I felt, let's just take advantage of them, like Nobu. And when I went to Nobu years ago, over 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and I said, if you ever want to open, I went to Matsuhisa, his first restaurant. I said, if you ever want to open a restaurant, I was there one time, I said, and then I went many times after, but I said, if you ever want to open a restaurant in New York, just let me know, you know, because it was, to me, it was a no-brainer.
I look at you like, what do you mean? And it's just like, well, I look at it like you should let the people choose. It's a day and age where everything is optional. Anything you need is at our fingertips, the click of a button.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? So you should let the fans pick what they want as a single. Why should we drive like songs and program them into radio just to drive it into their heads? I mean, I think you should pick what people like and give it to them.
Like give them the album and I got a single, he got a single, you got a single.
Crazy. Because that's what this is. I think each song, as a whole, it makes sense. They complement each other. It's like, for me, I wanted to try to create a masterpiece just as much as possible the way I knew. But I feel like each of them, like singly, individually, they stand on their own legs. And I think that a lot of individual people are gonna be like, well, this one really spoke to me, but this one is cool. I didn't really get that. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to make everyone try to like everything. It's just, I wanted to make art and hope everyone would like everything.
So I got to a certain point in my career where I saw the glass ceiling. I was so close to it, I was going to hit my forehead on it. But I was busy. I got lots of work. I realized that I can only play so many best friends or gang leaders, all right? I knew that I wasn't going to land a leading role. I knew there wasn't enough imagination, not yet, for the industry to be seeing me as a lead. In other words, if I wanted to star in a British drama like Luther, for example, then I'd have to go to a country like America, right? Now, some people might say back then, look, there was no black detectives, like how can you expect us to make a TV show about one? It's television, sorry. And the other thing is that I didn't see myself or my culture on TV, so I literally just stopped watching it. Instead, I decided to go and become TV. Now, if I aspired to be on the levels of Denzel Washington's and the Robert De Niro's in the world, I had to reinvent myself. I had to transform the way the industry saw me. I had to climb out of that box. In other words, I didn't go to America because I couldn't get parts. I went to America because I was running out of parts. All the parts were the same.
Through yet. My life ain't over yet. Listen to me. I need you to, that test you failed the third time, I need you to look at that test and speak life into it. I went from being homeless to where I am right now, and the first thing I did was, and you better hear me closely, the first thing I did was I said, I can get through this. I can get through this. And y'all gotta do me a huge favor. You just gotta have that mindset that no matter what you're going through, no matter what challenges you're facing right now, you gotta have that mindset that I can get through this thing. I can make it through it. And I made it through. Listen to me. I outlast. Some things you just gotta outlast. Every sleepless night, listen to me, every cold night, the winter Detroit, in the abandoned buildings, in cars, sleeping in, listen to me, I was sleeping all over. I outlasted it. There's some things in life you don't need no degree for, you don't need no money for it, listen to me, you don't need no support for it. There's some things in life you just gonna get through when you tell yourself, I'm gonna get through this. This is the TGI when I tell you, you can't get through it. And then second, you just gotta outlast some stuff.
First and foremost, congratulations. Second. That's just legit. And to have made that much progress, you're obviously on the path and getting after it, and what you've accomplished is awesome. Some people never make that transition. So stay on it, keep crushing it. Now, as far as discouragement goes from not having gotten on the path earlier, do I feel that way? Would I feel that way? Negative. Don't know. Okay, you were a little late getting in the game. But I'll tell you what, 26 years old, is that what we're talking about? 26? Yeah, at 26 years old, you're a youngin'.
Very much.
You're a youngin'. But I'll tell you what, even if you were 40 or 50 or 60 or 70, doesn't matter. You're in the game now, and that's what counts. And all those quote unquote wasted years, they weren't wasted, right? They're not wasted because you learned.
That's for real. I'd have had haters. I'd have had all kinds of stuff. And I just made up in my mind, look, I might not have been stronger. Listen to me. I might not have been smarter. I might not have been brighter. But I made up in my mind, I'm going to get through this. So we're going to put an image up. And I need you to see this image, right? And when you look at this image, what I want you to see is this is classic. My man, look at him. He got the two. He hitting. He probably got 998 hits. He got one more. He just got one or two more hits, and all them diamonds going to come out. And you know why he'll never see diamonds? Look, 998 hits. He had 2 or 3 left, and he would have cracked that thing. But you know why he never succeeded, and why most of you never succeeded? Because you keep giving up. Listen to me, he gave up. If you was gonna give up, you should have gave up last year. If you was gonna give up, you should have gave up 2 years ago. You should have gave up $2,000 ago. You should have, listen to me, you should have quit a long time ago. You done already put in 998 hits. Get some out of it.
Where you currently are, as great as you think it is, it's just an intermission to the rest of your life of where you can be. Don't stop the journey is what they're saying. Don't forget where you came from. Remember that person that was hungry, that wanted more. Remember that person now, because there's more to get. Don't let society's caution tape stop you from your pursuit of where you can be. Don't be a wannabe. Want to be more. Want to put the work in. Everybody in life, guys, wants to be something. No one wants to just be a wannabe. Everyone wants to be the lawyer, wants to be the doctor, wants to be the inspiration, wants to be someone, a principal. No one wants to be forgotten.
So I want you to look at this image for me. I'm gonna tell you something. This guy right here would have been successful had he never given up. And I'm telling you, some things in life is not about what you think it is. It's just about making up your mind that you are not gonna give up. You're not gonna quit. And so your boy went from being homeless to where I am now. And I failed classes, guys. Listen to me. Just because you failed don't make you a failure. And just because you lost don't make you a loser. And what I did that most people are not willing to do is I just never gave up. Consistent. I just never quit. All right, so we gonna get out here. I gotta go. I gotta let you go. I gotta let you go, but you gotta stay with me again. You gotta let me say, woo! I can, I will, I must. Are you hearing me? I can, I will, I must. I leave you with this. I'm not telling you it's gonna be easy. I'm not saying that, but it's real simple. E.T., what do you mean? You can get through anything. Listen to me. You can make it through anything if you just say these words. So cut this thing off. I just want you to play your favorite song. Look. I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to tell yourself, I am a survivor.
Every time, everything we do, we prepare for 10 years. I know I'm not smart. If we want to be successful, we have to win 10 years later. If we want to be successful, we have to work with smart people. If we want to be successful, we should make a lot of mistakes and never give up. A lot of people, they make mistakes, they have problem, they give up. We never give up. We learn from mistakes. And I think when we fail, the message, the experience that I want to give you, advice I want to give you, you will judge when this person will be successful or not by when he fails, he thinks it's his fault or the other fault. If he thinks, my fail because of the others, this guy has no chance. Those people who fail always think, it is my fault. I did not do it properly. I should change here or change it there. These guys have opportunities.
Learned about what it's like to be overweight, learned about what it's like to be weak, and the knowledge that you learned about those things is fuel to make sure that it never happens again. Because you know what is out there, and you know how bad it can get. And this is the other reason why it's beneficial that you have a past that wasn't perfect, is now you can teach other people how to do it very clearly.
Yeah.
You can inspire other people to do it. Look at what you did. Look what you did to your brother.
Yeah.
Right? It's another good example of that. So back in the day, before anybody knew what jiu-jitsu was, back in the day, I am the worst person to introduce jiu-jitsu to people. Because when they see me, because I'm 225 pounds and I'm, a big guy, and they think, of course this guy can choke me. Of course, they don't expect anything else. Yeah. So when I choke them, they're like, well, yeah, you were really strong.
Because either you scared of them or you scared of that record at the end of the year. As grown men say, when we walk out there as one, the man who walks in the arena as a winner usually walks out of the arena as a winner. Some of y'all still worried about what the analysts say about y'all. That ain't what you should be worried about. You should be worried about what you say about you. You can't wait for the conditions to be. You can't wait. Whatever your position is, you can't wait. You got to be a winner in your position. You got to take ownership special team. You got to take ownership offense. You got to take ownership defense. You can't wait. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to make you our champions. You have to make a decision when the year starts that this is where we're going to end up. And then you got to wake up every day and do everything you can to make sure that happens. I vow to be responsible for my position, to be a team player. It's not about me. It's about us. You owe you.
we became something that we're not. Okay, and that's why it's very important to remind yourself of who you are. Remember who you are. I came out here today because there's things in my life that I realize that labels are being stuck upon my life and my heart that I am not. Personally, that the world tried to give me, that failure tried to give me, that people tried to give me. And some of us, what we do, we become the pain that other people give us. What we do is we become the depression that the world tries to give us. What we do is we become the insecurities that comparison of our life tries to give us. And we become that. And we start to feel less like ourselves. We start to feel not motivated. We start to feel not inspired. We start to feel depressed. And then you get this COVID-19 stuff that's going on, and it starts to attack our immune system, our mental health. And before we know it, we don't know who we are. Before we know it, we become something that we're not. And so many people in this world, they're living a life that's not theirs. And what I mean by that is that they're living the life that someone else gave them. They're living the life that pain gave them. They're living the life that depression gave them. They're living the life that a failed dream gave them. And they end up becoming that. That is not your identity, people.
Don't limit what you're capable of.
You did that. So as times get hard for me, the truth comes out. And my truth is powerful as fuck. It's real. It's tangible.
Patience, the thing that goes beyond hustle and hard work. The discipline of patience, the thing that goes beyond hustle and hard work, right? Because we all talk about hustle, we talk about working hard, we talk about grinding, this, that, and the third, but nobody talks to you about patience. Nobody speaks about that patience. Because in the patience, that's where you're gonna make it or you're gonna break. The discipline of patience, right? Because when you're not patient, you can make a lot of mistakes, man. Like I told you, the quote said, don't judge each day by the harvest you reap. You judge each day by the seeds that you sow, right? When you sow a seed, you gotta be what? Oh, you gotta be patient.
It's hard when you're young to wake up in the off season at 6 a.m. to go train and work out, knowing that all your friends are sleeping in and eating pancakes. It's hard when you're on your way to practice, weighed down with all your gear, and it's 90 degrees out and all the other kids are at the pool or at the beach, and your body is already completely exhausted from workouts in 2-a-days. It's hard to throw, catch, block, and tackle, and hit kids when they're way bigger and way more developed than you, only to go home that night bruised and battered and strained, but knowing you have to show up again the next day for just the chance to try again. But understand this, life is hard.
I'm one of those old school guys, you know, when you talk about men's mental health and that men have to carry this burden and men have, yeah, that's what we do. Guess what? Somebody's got to get up. I have a family, right? I have children. I got to get up every day and go to work, and I have to, you know, do what I have to do. And no, I don't. I mean, I'm give a shit about my feelings. You know, you see these guys these days on social media, like, hey, you know, you know what I'm saying? Just talking about their bad day and this happened and I'm right. And shut the fuck up.
Oh, I know.
Get up.
Oh, I
get
know.
the fuck work and do what you got to do and be a man. No, be a man.
I tell you.
Just be a man.
Doing the thing in spite of not wanting to do the thing is discipline, right? You don't need motivation to get yourself up to go and do a thing. Make the promise small, build it up step by step. Know that you are going to have setbacks, and this is my favorite rule from James Clear, which is a habit missed once is a mistake. A habit missed twice is the start of a new habit. Never miss 2 days in a row. So ideally, go for a month, build it up. But after that, if you ever miss one day, go, okay, mistakes are going to happen. Tomorrow I double down. Tomorrow I go on time, absolutely perfect. I'm straight up out of bed, or I go to the gym, or I walk the dog, or I do my meditation or whatever. And that's a good heuristic. Stops errors snowballing into new habits.
You're going to lose sleep. You'll doubt whether it'll work. You'll stress to make ends meet. You won't finish your to-do list. You'll wonder whether you made the right call and have no way to know for years. This is what hard feels like, and that's okay. Everything worth doing is hard, and the more worth doing it is, the harder it is. The greater the payoff, the greater the hardship. If it's hard, good. It means no one else will do it. More for you.
I get happier about the harder it is because I know that no one else will follow.
It's a selection effect.
And I think if you can shift from this is hard to no one else will be able to do this, then it flips from being this thing that you're like, oh, poor me, to, oh, poor everyone else who's going to have to try.
And so if you tell young men, look, you're going to find the meaning in your life by adopting maximal responsibility, right? That's going to be extremely difficult because you're so bloody useless. You can't even get your own house in order. And you're going to be called upon not only to get your house in order, but to do that well enough so some woman can stand having you around for more than like 15 minutes in the back of a car. And then maybe you're going to have to do it so that you could be a good father to a family and a pillar of the community. And that's not just empty words. It's like, if you do that nobly, there'll be something to you. And then when the storms come, you won't be blown over by the first 4-foot wave.
I found out through this path of life, who is David Goggins? Who am I? So going through all, I did it alone. There was no trophy on the wall, on the mantle. That trophy's in my brain. No one helped me get there. No one paid my bills. No one did shit for me. No one ran those miles, lost that weight, went through. I suffered on my own and developed this man who said, it's who I am, man.
That's important, man. And most people struggle their whole life to find out who they are. Struggle their whole life to find out what defines them, what they actually enjoy and what they don't.
You start putting yourself in situations that suck, you'll find yourself.
Yeah.
You'll find it real quick.
That is the thing, right? And that's one of the things that I've gotten from paying attention to you is that you what you're preaching, what you're talking about is finding yourself through struggle.
That's it. So one thing I realized, I walked around and I put these people on a fucking pedestal. Everybody was better than me. So I can't tell you anything about me because you're gonna judge me and I'm gonna feel even worse than what I am. What I realized, once I calmed my mind down and sat back and looked at how jacked up this world is, once you realize that you are not alone, everybody that's talking to you about how jacked up you are, only thing they've done better than you is they've hidden their fucked up world better than you have. That's all they've done. So once I realized that, if you want to sit back, like for instance, there's all these things that are on TV and we have all these news people judging people who fuck up in life. And yeah, they made big mistakes. But that person who is judging you on TV, I guarantee you that news person, they say, I'm glad that my shit didn't come out, but I'm gonna judge the hell out of you. I know that about people. So if you want to sit back and judge how jacked up I was and how messed up my life was, Merry Christmas, go for it. Have a good time. But I'm smiling at you right now, knowing you have a secret that you're not willing to share. It gives you a lot of power when you're able to go on a podcast this big and say, hey, tell me, I'll tell you anything you want to know, 'cause I no longer care. And that is a lot of power in that, to be able to put your life on a billboard for the whole world to see and say, judge it, man. Judge it. Like just me talking about it makes me feel good. And that's another thing about it. When you are willing to talk about how jacked up you are, the strength, that big rock that you carry, it just starts to come off you. It just starts to come off. That's why I do it so often. I'm like, hey man, I'll tell you anything you want to know. I'm tired of being afraid. I'm tired of not telling you shit. I'm tired of lying about how good I'm not. We tend to do the things that are easy. And that is it builds no mental toughness. It builds no mental hardening. It builds nothing. When you work out, working out is where you can build that the fastest. Because it's a constant, it gives you instant feedback. Yeah, you may not lose the weight you want to real fast, but the discipline it takes, it transfers over to all aspects of your life. It's not, people, man, why are you always working out? Stop looking at it that way. This is the foundation of life. When you look in the mirror, every morning we all look in the mirror to get ready to go to work, to go anywhere. The first thing you see is your reflection. If you don't like what you see in the morning, you lost the war already. It's not about even liking what you see. It's about looking in the mirror and you may start, man, I feel different. That reflection is not everything. It's a feeling you're supposed to get. So you have to, in life, once you leave your house, the war begins. In your house, you have some control. And that reflection in that mirror, you have to control that reflection in the mirror. That's how you start your day. If you leave your house feeling like, okay, I can fight. I've established the mentality to fight. And all that comes from working out. It's not just from, you can't find that in the office. There's a lot of them out there, but most of them are that way for one big reason. They can't see themselves doing it. They can't see themselves doing it. It's one big reason. The other reason is a lot of it is jealousy. When you set these humongous fucking goals and they see that you're getting at it, let's say, for instance, we have a family. Let's say we're all a big family here. All 3 of us, all 4 of us are a big family. And every fucking morning I'm getting up training for a 200-mile run. And you see me get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and all you fuckers are sleeping. And by the time I get done running my 30, I come home just getting up. How are you gonna feel about yourself? A lot of times when you're an overachiever and you have people, that's what I talk about the mediocrity thing. A lot of our family members, a lot of our friends, they're mediocre. And there's always those couple of guys who are uncommon, who want to be better. But you make that mediocre motherfucker feel like shit. Whether it's your mom, your dad, whoever. You make him feel horrible. I've been there. I'm speaking from experience. When you get somebody around you, man, who's trying to be better and you don't have the drive that they have, it's a constant reminder of how fucked up you are. You have to know that that's what it is. Anybody in your course not saying, man, get after it, brother, I'm so proud of you, they have a problem with themselves. Because all you're trying to do is achieve more. If that's a problem for somebody, you have to look at them and say, man, you really have a fucking problem with yourself, huh? It's much deeper than what you think. Right. It lies deep in your soul. How I was able to fix myself was I saw how ugly I was towards other people who were great. I was able to look back and say, man, you don't hate that motherfucker for any reason because he's great. And you're lazy. You're lazy. He makes you feel like shit every single day. That's where it comes from. You have to know where shit comes from to be able to solve it. I honestly want to be considered one of the hardest men to walk the planet Earth in the history of the world. And what I mean by hard, I'm not talking about the guy who does the most pull-ups, the most sit-ups, runs the most. Just a person who's able to overcome any adversity in front of him, to figure out a way. Hardness isn't about all this physical shit, man. Yeah, it helped me get to where I'm at. But all I was doing in the whole process, the process wouldn't be ripped, it wouldn't walk around with my shirt off. That wasn't it. I knew through the physical challenges, through the physical suffering, my mind was getting stronger. I was literally doing that for a reason. I had a weak mind. All the rest just happened to come with it. I was trying to strengthen the mind to handle all the judgment that's passed on me, perceived and not. Sometimes you make it up in your own head. I just want to be able to handle all of that, everything, physical, mental. I want to be perceived as that, like an old school barbarian, an old school guy that's like, God, dog, man, nothing can hurt the guy, which is why the book is titled, Can't Hurt Me. I want people to have that mantra in their life. Take that with you. Take it everywhere you go in life. And if you believe that and you work towards that, callous in your mind, strengthen yourself, Can't Hurt Me is strong. In any situation, like when I was in Buzz, they beat the shit out of you. I'd be the first one to get up and say, can't hurt me, motherfucker. And they were beating the hell out of me. But you say that enough to you. False motivation becomes fucking real motivation after a while. I realized is I'm not a cookie cutter type of guy. Right. I'm not here to take your money. I'm here to help you. If you're coming in to work with a guy like me, who knows that you have to have thick skin to get better, you have to call yourself out. If you're fat and you're fucked up, I want to hear that. I don't want to hear you tap dancing around shit. So I don't take on many clients because when you work with me, we're going to get to the root of the fucking problem. And a lot of people don't want to go there. They don't want to talk about their childhood. They don't want to talk about their past. They want to get to the root of the problem, and then they go, why am I not getting better? Because there's a lot of shit in there you haven't dealt with, brother. People go to the gym, like for instance, going through any kind of special operations school. These people go to the gym, they get big, they get jacked, they can run fast, all that shit. But the only thing they're doing is they're coding over the mind. All you're doing is building a bigger, stronger quitter. Your mind hasn't gotten any stronger because you haven't gone back in there and dealt with shit. So the second adversity comes, like, my God, I'm so fucking fit. What's wrong? Your mind is still soft. So I work on the mind. It's hard for me to respect people who are able to come into that world and leave.
Sure.
This is a fucking lifestyle, man. Like, and people wonder, why am I not achieving more? It's because all of us, once we achieve something, we celebrate for a long years fucking time. And we wonder, why don't I have drive anymore? Where's it all at? If you don't develop a routine of suffering, and suffering is not like go out and kill yourself every day, it's being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That keeps you hungry every day. If you live in your victories for so long and say, I'm gonna go challenge myself for 30 days or for 2 weeks or run this one marathon, and it ends, I did one marathon. Okay, that's why it leaves you. It leaves you because you haven't set up the next obstacle. Obstacles is how you grow. You must continue to have friction. Friction is where growth is at. With no friction, there's no growth. Make up your own mission statement. What do you want to be in life? And once you do that, now you can work with somebody to get better. You can work with yourself to get better. But until you know what you want to stand for, you will always just be sitting down. You'll never stand for anything. But guess what happens? That alarm clock goes off at 4 a.m. to train. I don't want to be a SEAL today. Or I don't want to be whatever today. I'll start tomorrow. And that's the usual pattern of people's lives. That's why I talk about clearing out the mind. Until you really want to do something, you always get be a talker. You always get run your fucking mouth. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to really research is, man, why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself. All those things of comfort are there in that 1 second. And this is where people lose. So what I do in that 1 second, because we all think about quitting when shit's hard. But what you have to do in that 1 second is hard to process information during pain. Because that pain takes over and you can't think rationally. You're thinking about fight or flight, save yourself.